protect.
Like, my protector thinks I'm 5 years old and can't handle a mean email.
Could be. So you literally ask the protector, how old do you think I am? And then, gently, you start showing it evidence of your adult life.
Like, look, I finished college, I held down a job, I survived that breakup, I even learned to cook a decent meal.
Exactly. You show your strength, your skills, your support system. You reassure the protector that, hey, this grown-up version of you can handle more than you think.
So you're not trying to get rid of the protector, just updated software, so to speak.
Right. Now, a protector might still be worried, like, sure, they're an adult, but can their self actually handle this? Because in childhood, maybe that self was overwhelmed, unavailable.
Ah, so you have to also show the protector that yourself is present, capable, and ready to engage.
Exactly. Now, someone listening might think, but I don't feel that capable as an adult. And that's valid. But even small steps forward count. This process itself can help you recognize your own growth.
Right, like maybe I'm not perfect, but I'm doing better than 5-year-old me.
Exactly. And updating is super useful when a protector's hesitant to step back. Maybe when you're trying to work with other parts, it's like, hey, it's okay, I can handle this.
Gotcha. But what about those situations where we need to act right now? That's where direct negotiation comes in, right?
Absolutely. This is when a protector's fears, even if they come from the past, still feel very real in an upcoming situation.
Like, I have to give this presentation and my protector's freaking out because it remembers me getting laughed at in third grade.
Exactly. So negotiation in IFS is about reaching an agreement. Yourself wants to lead in this specific upcoming situation, and you got to get the protector on board.
Okay, so it's about this specific event, not some vague, I want to be more confident goal.
Precisely. Jay Early stresses that. So first, you ask the protector, what are you afraid of specifically in this situation?
So, let's say the presentation. My protector might say, I'm terrified you'll freeze up, people will judge you, and you'll be humiliated.
Right. And then you acknowledge that fear. You don't dismiss it or argue. You validate it. I hear you. That sounds terrifying.
So you're building trust, showing you understand where the protector's coming from.
Exactly. Then you gently point out how this situation is different from the past. Maybe it's a supportive audience, you've practiced your material, and you've got coping skills now.
You're basically saying, I get why you're scared based on what happened before, but things are different now.
Right. And then you express confidence in your self's ability to handle it. I trust myself to stay grounded, to speak clearly, and to deal with any hiccups.
And then the big ask. Would you be willing to relax a bit and let me lead in this presentation?
Exactly. But, and this is crucial, negotiation only works if you've already built a trusting relationship with that protector.
Like if they think you're going to bulldoze over their concerns, they'll just dig in their heels.
Absolutely. And a good sign of trust is how the protector responds when you express appreciation for its efforts.
Like, hey, I know you've been trying to protect me from this fear, and I appreciate that.
Yeah, if it softens, that's good. If it doesn't, more work's needed to build that connection, like what Early describes in self-therapy.
Okay, so what if the protector's still hesitant, even after all that?
Then you dig deeper. What are you afraid would happen if you did relax? Even a little. Once you understand that deeper fear, you can offer specific reassurance.
So it might take several rounds of uncovering fears and addressing them before the protector feels safe enough to step back.
It's a process, and the key thing to remember is parts don't want to be in these extreme controlling roles.
They're just convinced it's the only way to keep us safe.
Right. So if you can show them it's not necessary anymore, they're often relieved to step back into a healthier role.
That's encouraging. Now, what are some common fears protectors have that we can address?
One big one is harm or rejection. Someone will judge us, shame us, betray us, maybe even physically hurt us.
And the reassurance is, look, I get why you think that based on the past, but this situation, these people are different.
Exactly. Another one is, you won't be able to handle it if I'm not in control. That's where updating helps, reminding them of your adult capabilities.
Makes sense. Then there's the fear of triggering an exile. If that exile's healed, you can remind them of that.
And if not, you can make a plan for self-care if it does get triggered. We can handle it together. I'm more equipped now.
What about the fear that we'll do something that brings negative consequences?
That often links to a polarized part taking over, where two parts are locked in conflict.
So the reassurance there is that part is more healed now, or it has a better relationship with myself.
Right. And finally, a protector might fear being banished if it's not needed anymore.
So we reassure them, you won't be abandoned. You can choose new, healthier roles.
Like in that example Jay Early gives with Mandy and her Taskmaster protector. This part was driving her crazy with work, terrified of financial ruin.
But through open communication and appreciation, Mandy showed the protector those fears weren't totally accurate anymore.
And the protector, feeling heard and appreciated and seeing Mandy's adult skills, actually relaxed its grip.
So cool. It shows how validating those parts, even when their fears seem extreme, can make a huge difference.
Now, what about when a protector's fear isn't totally unfounded? Like, there's a real possibility of a bad outcome.
Okay, that's trickier. Jay Early says you got to be prepared to deal with those potential outcomes. Negotiation's not about pretending there's no risk.
Right. So you still ask about the fear, but you acknowledge its validity. I see how that could happen, and it makes sense that you're worried.
And then, crucially, you create a plan for how you'll handle that outcome if it occurs. This shows the protector you're taking its concern seriously.
Exactly. The plan might involve staying calm, seeking support, setting boundaries, caring for triggered parts, practicing self-assertion, all sorts of things.
You're basically saying, okay, I get the risk, but here's how I'll navigate it if it happens. I've got this.
Right. And again, having that plan shows the protector that yourself is strong, capable, and trustworthy.
It's about building that internal trust more than winning a logical argument.
Like in the example of Karen in her quiet down part, which was terrified of her expressing anger at work because of past trauma.
Even though her boss wasn't her abusive father, there was a real risk of negative consequences.
So Karen made a plan. She practiced what she'd say, got coaching from colleagues, and used grounding techniques to stay calm.
By having that plan, she showed her quiet down part that she could handle things even if the worst happened.
So, to sum up, when is negotiating for self-leadership most useful?
Well, it's great when you need to handle a situation soon and haven't had time for deep exile work.
It's also helpful when a protector's stuck, even after an exile has healed.
And you can even use it in the moment to quickly remind a protector to let yourself lead.
Super versatile. So, to recap the steps, build trust, identify the situation, ask the protector to step back, explore their fears.
Offer reassurance if the fears are unrealistic or create a plan if there's genuine risk.
So, as you go about your day, think about a situation coming up that's causing you anxiety. What part might be activated? What's it afraid of?
Could you build a relationship with that part? Maybe even negotiate for yourself to lead in that situation.
It's all about understanding your own internal family. And if you want to go deeper, check out Jay Early's books, like Self-Therapy.
And the Center for Self-Leadership website, selfleadership.org, is a fantastic resource for all things IFS.
Absolutely. It's an ongoing journey, but these tools can be so empowering. Thanks for taking this deep dive with us. We hope you found it valuable.
Totally. We'll catch you in the next one.